It's Red Snapper, and welcome to the Showgirl's Closet, where I have Pepper at my feet. That's right, I have spicy feet. Today we are looking at the underclothing for my California Sunset act. My concept for this act was to have it in two parts because we would always hear from the legends about how they would perform for 15 minutes and 30 minutes, just one slow, long dancing number, and the attention spans today are shorter than they were when I started and than when I created this act. We have cultivated viewership of shorter bits instead of long form entertainment, and there are so many things vying for our attention. We live in a day and age where there's a lot of second screening. Even at burlesque shows, live burlesque shows, people take their phones. And I know you're supposed to, silence your phone, put your phone away. But that doesn't mean that you won't look up at the stage and then go back to TikToking or texting or whatever the kids are using these days. Different attention spans, shorter attention spans, as I go on and on in this video about short attention spans. I'm just spinning a nice long yarn. But this act was intended to be a longer form act. It's about 6 minutes long with two different sections, two different songs. And the first song, I only take off the jumpsuit and do some veil work. So it would be appropriate for family-friendly settings. If I was booked for someone's home to do a private gig and they had children, I could do that. I took off an upper layer and then I was in a swimsuit, and that would be okay. Or shows where you weren't allowed to bare, under boob or the cleavage of your butt or whatever, like certain venues in West Hollywood or Fresno. I think certain venues in Fresno where you couldn't show your anal cleft. By that, they meant your butt crack or... Anyway, but there were places where you couldn't show certain pieces of skin. So I could do the first part and strip down to the swimsuit, and I would be fine. It would be appropriate for those audiences. The second part is where it got a little more weird, I guess. I went from tribute to the California sunset to swimwear to crawling on the floor and rolling like it's, I'm melting into the ocean. And then I have my boa and I'm so fascinated by the sparkly ball and I put it on and, it's all very, very grindy and barefoot. Although I did wear little shoes. I can't find my little shoes, my little rhinestoned leather shoes that just covered the ball of my foot, and they'd sit right here. I can't find them. I'm going to have to make more, but they were so handy and I've used them for a number of things. But they came about because of this act. I don't like having dirty feet. As hippie as I am, I don't like dirty feet. I have an amazing photo of the under things shot by SH Photo in Los Angeles. I shot this with him in 2015 when the act was ready. I thought I'd perform the act more. I talked in the last video about how I thought I would perform the act a lot more and it would become a signature act. You never know what your signature is going to be until you've signed it a few times. You're just trying stuff out and you're seeing what sticks. I think my signature currently is yakety sax. I think that is the thing. And it's a great act too. But you don't really know what your signature is going to be. So you are hoping for the best when you get promotional photos of a thing. And I love the photos that he shot. They're fantastic. And Evie Lavelle did my hair and makeup for that whole shoot day. It was lots of fun. All right, so costume pieces. I made the jumpsuit. I bought the veil. I bought the swimsuit. I bought this from Victoria's Secret. What size is this? Okay, it's a medium, so I don't know that it would fit my butt right now. I'm not going to put this on. You'll just have to marvel at the photo that Sam took to see how fantastic it looked. But I liked this for the unders. I like the nice wide rings in the side because that shows you more hip skin. And I took the hibiscus buttons. I took the motif to the drawers, right? I also added starfish and rhinestones on the butt because I didn't want to put buttons on my butt. You sit on your butt backstage, and I would sit on the floor in the act. So I didn't want to crack any of those buttons. That's a bigger deal to break a button than to lose a rhinestone on the floor. It's a little more dangerous because you could get cut on these lovely things. So rhinestoned. Look, I didn't rhinestone all the way through because honestly, who's going to see that part in this act? So swimmy. And the top, what size top did I get? It might have come as a set. Oh, yeah, I cut the tag out, so there's no telling. It may have been a medium or a large top. You can see where I stitched through the cup to put the buttons on. We've got hibiscus, bigger hibiscus, and starfish, and more rhinestones. And this is very strappy, very open. I think it's the Kitten DeVille school where they would cut the wings off the bra and have more open backs. So this, you know, you're seeing a little more skin.
Wait, did you add these straps to it?
No, the straps came.
Okay.
Well, the straps came, and I think they were intended to tie around the neck. But I needed to be able to slip them off my shoulders. Yeah, and I stitched them closed. Oh, yeah, that must have been it. They must have been made for a halter. I was like, yeah, no. No, we don't want a halter for this. We want to slip instead of armpit and untie. Very sturdy. Swimwear is great. I talk about swimwear fabric, but swimwear itself is great for durability, for burlesque acts. You can attach things to these cups. Boy, howdy. If you use the right glue, and it's already stretched, you can glue stuff on there and the cup shape won't change. It's already lined, so you don't have to worry about showing too much too early. If you don't want people to have a peep of your pasty through a sheer fabric, this is ready to go. It's set up for beachwear. So you are covered. And performing in this stuff, like stripping down to these pieces, that's fine for a family-friendly audience because it's a swimsuit, but it's sparkly, right? Now, beneath this, I wore these little panties with other shell buttons. And these are one size minor creations. Like, I think these are Y-shaped. I think that's what they're technically called, a Y-shaped panty, I believe. Anyway, very skimpy. So what I would do is and I'll show you the boa. I would have the boa on, and then I would pull off these shorts to get to the littler breeches, right? So I'd peel so that you'd see the side view. And then I'd play with the straps because these are really nice stretchy straps. I don't think there's elastic inside. I think it's just this fabric rolled on itself. This spandex, right? Rolled up on itself. So be like, ooh, guess what? I'm going to take off these. Oh, no, I'm not. Burlesque is all about the tease, right? So little bitty, itsy bitsy drawers. And yeah, they were very fun. I had to be careful though as I was taking down my breeches. So I'd have one hand over here as I pulled down these, right? To make sure that I still had a finger on my under things. And when I was pulling things like tuggy, tuggy, tug, tug. Look at me, I'm pulling it down. You couldn't see, this side was making sure I didn't drop my drawers because I wanted to continue dancing in those establishments. I'm not ashamed of much, but but I didn't want to lose potential future opportunities by ditching my drawers on a stage when that was not the agreement. Okay, let's get into the boa. Oh, and the pasties. So for this act, I performed the second half of this. I danced to Sunshine of Your Love by Cream because that's great music. And it was good with the boom, ba-boom, ba-boom as I was, stripping and wriggling and rolling and writhing. So the pasties. These are made with a mixture of cheap and expensive rhinestones. Like, I think the bigger ones are random eBay stones that were not a lot of money. And in the middle, I think these are Swarovski stones. And then I've got some Preciosa in here too. And I put felt on the back. This is some very cheap fabric that I used to wrap the buckram. I've got felt so that there's something for the tape to stick to, so it doesn't peel away as I put it on my body. I have a sweating problem, but there we go, nice and fun. So it looked nude-ish. Not fully nude, but it looked nude-ish. So yeah, I danced to Sunshine of Your Love. I went from like, oh, look, I'm dropping this jumpsuit, ta-da, and then it went into Sunshine of Your Love. And in the beginning, I had a few extra seconds to wait. And we cut those seconds out over time, realizing that is way too long. It seems like a year that I'm on stage, even if it's 3 seconds. So we wanted a nice, clean transition between the songs. But I'm like, oh, yes, it's a lovely day. And then more serious again, right? I'm so serious. Am I sexual? Yeah. I know Backstreet's not back here, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so you can see in the photo, the SH photo of this boa, how great it can look. It has been in a bag. It needs to be zhuzhed, right? It needs to be fluffed. This was the first tulle boa that I made. Very easy to make. You just cut strips that are like 10 or 12 inches long and somewhere between 1 inch and 3 inches wide of tulle. And you tie them around a cord or a cable or a ribbon. This has a very small cord that I dyed, so you wouldn't see a cotton cord. And it's just tying lots of knots. And this has a couple different shades of blue tulle. There's like a metallic, and then there's a matte. And then I have ribbon in here too. Big Fanny Annie used to make ribbon boas. I think they were made using the same technique, but they were made with ribbon. So if you want something vegan, then I do have an episode on my big honkin' tulle boa, but this was the first one that I made. And I wanted it to have that dangle at the bottom, right? For extra motion. At the very bottom, I added some beads and some tassels. Just random spare. I mean, the color is good, but they were, ooh, that's a problem with this ribbon, is it frays. Random tassels, but they look great at the bottom. Now the ball, looks like I lost a stone. You can't glue this directly to a styrofoam ball. It just doesn't work well, and it may not be entirely safe. So,
because a lot of the glues are caustic and can like burn the styrofoam.
Yeah, there are some crazy caustic glues.
There's a styrofoam ball under this.
Yes, there's a styrofoam ball underneath this that I wrapped in a piece of pantyhose. And then I treated it with Mod Podge, so it'd have some kind of sealant on it. Then and only then did I start stoning. And it's not perfectly lined all the way around, but it's pretty good. And these were cheap eBay rhinestones. On stage, you can't tell how much I paid for these rhinestones.
1 stone at a time.
1 stone at a time.
And twice.
Yeah, because I got 2 balls.
Yeah.
So the balls add nice weight. So you can do a lot of cool boa work when you don't have balls. But the balls add weight to it, so it kind of changes what you're working with. Just like having a silk veil or silk panel skirt versus a polyester one, the weight changes, the way that the air catches it can change. And for this, it was like, I'm discovering this, fantastic thing that I found on the beach after rolling down the stage. That was fun too, rolling down the stage. So it was like, this is amazing. Yes, I think it's fantastic. I'll drape it over myself, and here I go. And it's just fantastic and amazing. And then tug, 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 tug. So when I was stripping from the side, the balls would weigh the boa down. So I didn't have to worry about the boa, catching air and getting free from me. No, I could tug, 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 or, whatever with these balls. And for the end, I would raise my arms up, and I don't have a whole lot of wingspan in here because we have costumes in the Showgirl's closet. But what I would do is I would turn nice and slowly for like the absolute final reveal where you'd see everything, the pasties and the drawers, and the balls kept it nicely framed. And I could, I gotta be careful in here. I don't want to hit the mirror or the puppy or anything. But the same kind of coat turns and moves that I did with the veil, I could do them with a boa. So it ties it all together. I love this act. I love the music. The music is amazing. I would have to solve for the floor work, which I love the floor work, but with the knee, it's not smart for me to do. Maybe I could do it once or twice and then not for a long time, just to protect my aging knees. But it was so much fun, and I love the costume, and it was not as expensive all around as some of the other things that I've built. So yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, looks like I could add some more tulle right there. Definitely needs to be zhuzhed here. But what do you think of the under things for the California sunset? What do you think about 2-part burlesque acts where there's a clear first section and then a clear second section with a break in the music? What do you think about that? What do you think about long form burlesque that takes more than like 3 or 4 minutes for the act to go? Do you have the attention span for it now? Do you remember ever having the attention span for the whole act as a viewer? I would love to hear from you in the comments. Please be sure to like, subscribe, boop that bell for notifications. Many thanks to my patrons for the years of support. I cherish you, and you will see me next time.